Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Boost! Dueling fans, boost, boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2021, the album. I was going to say the Harry edition, but that sounds so bad. Family friendly. The album, Dad AF. Rock on! You know what irritates me so much? Let me just tell you something, okay? I just did a rant video that is uploading right now. So it was a rant video that ended up becoming more of a story time about me and my girlfriends in high school. Can we just talk about this long sideburn for a second? Look at that, okay? I'm getting my hair cut on Thursday. It's been like 6 weeks. Look at that. What is that? Oh my God. That is not pretty or handsome. But anyway, can I just tell you what frustrates me so much? This is one of my frustrations of the day. And no, this is not a rant video. This is a Shane Dawson video. But I did this video the other day, and I'm looking at myself in the camera the entire time I'm doing it. I don't have one of these cameras that like has the screen to the side, so that this drives me crazy when people do this, okay? When they have the camera and then like the screen is to the side, and so they like look the whole time like this. It's like, look at the camera, okay? But I have one of the vlogging cameras where the screen goes up. So I'm looking in that right now. So it's like on top of my camera, if that makes sense. So it looks like I'm looking right at the camera. So I'm looking at myself the whole time, right? I don't know if it's because of the light or whatever. But I got done, and I know when I say this, there's going to be so many people that are going to be like, ooh, Peter, I noticed that, but I didn't want to say anything. I got done and I was like uploading the video, and I have like this white string just like sitting on my like shirt the entire video. I don't know how it came, where it came from. Gold dust, boost, woman. But it drove me crazy. I want to dance with somebody. Boost. I was driving around today and I was singing that song by Dua Lipa. I'm practicing it because basically I'm going to be the newest TikToker in the world. You know, the new Charlie D'Amelio right here. I know you don't know it yet, but it's about to happen. I'm going to get my own reality show and everything. I have it all planned out. It's part of my business plan of 2021 to become TikTok famous. No, I don't have a business plan. Who would care? Anyway, but no, I was driving around and I was listening to that, what's that song called? Break My Heart or something like that. But anyway, that dun, dun, dun. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, I love that song so much. And I was like snaking it out in my car. And all these people kept on driving up next to me looking up like I'm crazy. Do y'all not dance in your car? Something, what is wrong with you? Back in the day, I could do the Caterpillar. Oh my God, with Rebbie Jackson. Do you remember that? Was that Rebbie Jackson? Anyway, it was one of the Jacksons. Maybe it wasn't Rebbie. I can't remember. I love the Caterpillar. Do you remember that song back in the day? I loved it so much. Anyway, today let's talk about Shane Dawson for a little... Things are just, hairs are floating all over the world. Anyway, it's a hairy video. Let's talk about Shane Dawson today, okay? Now, as you know, I go over to the Reddit and I read the Reddit all the time. One of my favorite things to do on Reddit is just like pick random threads that I have no interest in whatsoever and just reading what they're talking about over there. It's crazy, right? Go over there and look up sharks on the Reddit thread. I'm telling you, I have been so active lately on the Instagram and the Twitter. Have you noticed? That's my goal in 2021 is to be more active. So anyway, also, if you want to be part of my new book club, Peter's Book Club, I put a post up on Instagram the other day of the book that we're reading. The publisher of the book contacted me and they told me that they are willing to give out 15 free copies of the book for the book club. Is that not so amazing? So I'm going to be putting up a post on my Instagram. You kind of have to follow me on Instagram and you have to follow them as well to win one of their free books. And it's US only right now, they said. But I'm very, very excited about that. It was so nice of them, wasn't it? So I'm going to put up a post over on my Instagram tomorrow, I think. If you guys want to win one of those free books, I'm just going to pick comments at random and then they're going to send you a free book so you can read it with me this month if you don't want to spend the money on it. So anyway, I thought that was really, really nice of them. And the author retweeted me and everything. It was so cool. So anyway, I was over on the Reddit and I was looking through the Beauty Guru chatter, which is my favorite and all that kind of stuff. But I noticed, where are my glasses over here? I noticed that there was this thread on here, or this post, somebody posted and said, why is everyone on this sub, and this is the Shane Dawson Reddit thread, why is everyone on this sub so obsessed over someone they claim to hate? And if you go 2 days before that, it was the picture, and I had posted this, of Shane's cat, and he had said, do you want an Animal Crossing update? 77% said yes, and 23, no, you're 32. It was the other response, right? Because now people are cluing into this whole thing that before it was always like his self-deprecation was, I'm poor, you know, this, that, whatever. Now apparently people think that he's really playing into this, I'm 32 years old kind of deal. Like, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about all of that. So anyway, so this was interesting. So somebody posted that 4 days ago and said, no, like they didn't want to hear his Animal Crossing update. And it's not just because you're 32. And I read this and I was like, this is getting like some major traction on here. So I went underneath here and I wanted to read it. And it said, there's a massive demographic of older people, not that 30 is old, but since he's using this excuse implying he's too old, that play Animal Crossing regularly. It's extremely common amongst parents and grandparents. Nintendo, okay, so they go in there and say all this kind of stuff. And they're talking about people that are older playing Animal Crossing. So they're like questioning why he would even say that. And then someone said every single time, that font is a deliberate choice and I hate it. And they're talking about the Comic Sans font that he uses. Okay, and then and there's a lot of people that complain about that Comic Sans font. I don't know why people don't like that font with Shane, but let me know. Someone said, I honestly get tired of the, no, you're certain age. Like, why does your age matter when things you enjoy? If you like Animal Crossing, just own that fact. Too many people think that 30 is when you are supposed to be a stuffy old... Listen, I'm 48, and I'm still not a stuffy old person, so move on with that. I agree. Do whatever you want to do at whatever age you want to do it, as long as it makes you happy and it's, you know, and it's what you're supposed to be doing. It's legal. Let's just put it that way, right? Someone said, I think you're right, honestly. A couple other comments had the same thoughts you did, so I'm sure people are just going to kind of sick of this, like, attention, they called it attention whoring, which I thought was interesting. So let's see. Unrelated, but looking at Comic Sans is like hearing nails on a chalkboard for me. It's the worst font. Delete it all from all libraries. And then people in here are going back and forth about this. So what is sad is 77% of people said yes, that they want, somebody responded to that. Someone said no pressure, but also buy my merch, because this was part of that stream as well. Someone said, I just saw that. That wasn't up when I posted this. Ridiculous. Someone said he's still trying to convince everyone that that ugly NASA spiraling shirt is something they should buy. It's terrible and offensive to my eyes. Someone said he has millions of fans. Why is it an issue that he notify them of a merch sale? Y'all complain about anything and everything. And someone said it's the way he promotes it. Someone said, I don't see the issue. All he says is, hi, I'm having a merch sale, and you obviously don't have to buy anything, just letting you know. He's always said that, and I appreciate it, because sometimes fans can feel bad for not being able to buy merch for whatever reason. And it goes on and on and on. Now they're calling him names in here. Someone says, Shane writing, no, you're 32, instead of just no, is such a manipulative thing to do. People who are uninterested in it don't get the option to just answer no or no thanks. Instead, if you want to answer no, it goes on and on. They're taking it, I think, a little too seriously, honestly, about they're reading too much into what he's saying. Someone said the buy my merch part at the end, though. I wasn't even mad or annoyed at him playing Animal Crossing and ignoring the things he should be addressing until the buy me merch part. Someone said, I just saw that. That wasn't posted when I first saw this. Honestly, ridiculous at this point. Someone said, Shane aside, what's wrong with trying to sell merch? What about it is bothering you? And someone said the Shane part. Okay, so here's the deal, right? Like, I don't think that most people have an issue with the fact that anybody is trying to push merch, okay? I push merch. Other people, I haven't pushed my merch in a long time. I have all new merch in the last 6 months. Go buy it. I hardly ever push it over here. I probably push my merch less than Shane Dawson pushes his merch, and I make daily videos, and he doesn't ever post a video, ever, right? I don't think it's the issue that he's putting the merch out there or saying, hey, I have a sale or whatever. If he would just, like, if he was posting regularly on Instagram, like, let's say if every day or every other day he was posting on an Instagram story, just random stuff, and then when the sale came up, like everybody else, okay? Like, let's just use James Charles for an example. James Charles is extremely, extremely active on his Instagram stories. So he probably posts anywhere between 5 and 10 Instagram stories a day. So when Sisters Apparel goes on sale or they have a new release, it doesn't seem like something that's weird that James Charles would be pushing, because he's constantly talking on his Instagram story. So this is just another part of his business. Just like him pushing his videos, just like him talking about the next collab he's going to do. Things like that, right? Okay. But Shane Dawson doesn't do that. Shane Dawson couldn't even get through an entire day just talking about Animal Crossing without having to push his merch. So the only time that Shane comes back is when it is kind of it seems apparently that he's trying to push something or some agenda, and it seems manipulative, like I'm only back for this, right? It's not ever about something else. And this whole thing, like, everybody in the world knows you don't have to buy somebody's merch, right? You don't have to tell somebody that. That's so kind of like, I don't know. It's part of that whole self-deprecation act that personally drives me crazy. It's like that. And, you know, people want to know why I keep on talking about Shane. They're like, if you hate Shane, I don't hate Shane, okay? I don't have any emotional investment in Shane. I don't know the man well enough to hate him, okay? But I will tell you that I am intrigued by what makes his clock tick, okay? Truly. Like, there is a method to his madness. There really, truly is. Or there's a method to his magic. Let's call it magic, right? He knows what he's doing, okay? I think he has been somebody that has known what he's been doing for a long time. Don't forget, a year ago, people were calling him a genius, okay? So you can't come a year later and say that same person, and I did even, and say that same person that we called a genius, okay, is now just like, oh, you guys, you don't have to buy my merch. It's cringe, okay? It would be cringe if any YouTuber did it, right? So it's like, you know, he even made a joke of it with like Logan and Jake Paul, how far they push their merch, because they come in like every video and they're like, buy my merch, buy my merch, buy my merch, you know? And so then for him to like later be like up in a camera and be like, you don't have to buy my merch, but I just want you to know it's on sale. Okay. We get your 5,000 emails. Do y'all get his emails? I get his emails constantly, and I've never purchased anything from Shane Dawson. So I don't know why I'm getting the emails from him, but I get the emails notifying me of sales, so he's wanting people to know. So anyway, that goes on and on and on, and someone said he's really going to use Animal Crossing to win people back. Someone said, let's go through here, are adults not allowed to enjoy video games? People are going on and on and on. But the thing is, it's interesting about it is if you go in here, whereas like 6 months ago, because like if you go in there, it's like people are like, just get off his Instagram if you don't like him. Why are you talking about it? Blah, 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 whatever. So whereas 6 months ago, okay, and this is where the 77% factors in. Now, what's interesting to me about this is I think Shane Dawson wanted people, okay, to see that percentage. I think he wanted to see, because if he said to them, do you guys want to see me drink a glass of lemonade, and he put yes or no up there, okay, we're not really asking, do you want to see me play Animal Crossing? Do you want to see me drink lemonade? Do you want to see this? Do you want to see that? We're really asking people's public perception. And so he's polling people to see who is really on my side. Well, 77% of people are. 77% of people that follow Shane Dawson on Instagram saw this, okay? And they hit like, yes, we want to see more of that. So now he knows if I come back, I have 77% of my audience that's going to fully support me. Do you get it? This is not stupid. He knows what he's doing, okay? Which is interesting, because then you go up here and it says, why is everyone on this sub so obsessed over someone they claim to hate? Every day there are posts created here where people talk about how upset they are with Shane, how evil he is, how happy they are that he's been canceled, etc. ad nauseum. If you hate him so much, then why are you still here? Why do you spend so much time stalking his socials if you claim to hate him so much? Why are you watching and posting his IG stories? This is going to be a massively unpopular opinion. If you think he should be canceled, then that's fine. Unsubscribe and unfollow him and move on. Holding him accountable for his actions is one thing, but please stop pretending to hate someone you're clearly still obsessed with. I think that's such an easy go-to. Like, I think that's really an immature response towards anything in this world. This ring light, you guys, I don't know how to adjust it because I'm still getting used to it. But I think that's such an immature, and I'm sorry whoever wrote this, have at it being upset with me. But it is really an immature response. You know, if we take any world event, okay, not just Shane Dawson on YouTube, take any world event, any world figure that you can think of, right? To say that to hate that person means you're secretly obsessed with them, I think that most of us would disagree with that, okay? I think if you think of a public figure out there that you really have strong issues with, or you feel like they need to be held accountable for their actions, I think that if people said to you, you only feel that way because you're obsessed with them, I think you would have strong issues with that, don't you? Like, I think that other celebrities in the past that we have had issues with, other people in the past, but it's like, when it's Shane Dawson or any other YouTuber, like I see this a lot with Jeffree Star too. People are like, you secretly are obsessed with this person, okay? You want to act like you hate them or you don't like them or you're glad that they're canceled, but you're secretly obsessed with them, right? No, maybe it's that we're just intrigued to continue to have the discussion, you know? We live in a world where today, through social media, we are allowed to have an opinion. I actually think it's like, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 5 or 10 years because, you know, we're only at this point, like what? So when I got with my husband, I've been with my husband 12 and a half years now. Like we met on MySpace. I didn't have like a Facebook at the time. You know, so we're less than 15 years out from social media ever having really even existed in any kind of capacity, right? Well, now we are to the end result. I remember when I used to work with this doctor way back in the day, and she and I would talk about books and shows and all this kind of stuff. And I remember when Survivor was coming on, and like Survivor, the first season, and Real World on MTV were like the very first 2 reality shows. And I remember saying to her, like, are you going to watch it? We were talking and she said, no, I'm not going to watch it. And I said, why not? And we would talk about all kinds of TV shows we watched. And she said, I don't want to engage in what I see is going to be the downfall of our society. And I said, what do you mean? It's just a TV show. She goes, no, it starts with like this, because this was like the whole idea of like back in the day reality TV. You know, she was like, you know, it starts with this where we're just like seeing these people live together in this apartment, or, you know, there's this contest on this island. And she said, you know, like I can see 5 or 10 years down the road, it's going to be every intricate detail of somebody's personal life is being aired on television for everybody to see. 10, 15 years down the road, that's where we're at, isn't it? I mean, we are exactly there with reality television. Social media, okay, when it first started, was a way for people to network. When you started on Facebook back in the day, I think you had to be in, isn't this in that Social Network movie? You had to be part of a college campus or on a university to even be part of Facebook. Now, Facebook is run by the grandmas out there. I mean, true story, it is, you know? And, you know, older people like us that are like reconnecting with, older people like us, like me, that are reconnecting with people that we went to high school with and people that we knew in our youth and things like that. The young kids don't use Facebook. They hate it, you know? I hate Facebook. I think it's of the devil. So, you know, we have continued to like, this whole thing has changed. You know, social media was a way to network at first. Now it's a way to get famous. It's also a way for people to have their voices heard, no matter how small you are. You know, like you could just be sitting in an apartment in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and never interact with anybody and have a following on Twitter and Instagram of 1 million people, and everybody's listening to your opinion, right? So today we have this opinion on social media that people are really, really listening to, and that we can sway somebody's opinion or whatever. But just because you have an opinion, okay, doesn't mean that you're obsessed. Doesn't mean that you have hatred towards people. I've met people before that are like, I just post certain stuff on Twitter and on Facebook just to get people riled up. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, why would you post stuff just to piss people off? And they're like, oh, it's funny to watch. People like, I mean, this is the epitome of trolling, right? They're like, I love just to see it and get people just like going and get people angry, right? So I think it's this go-to, especially with YouTube, which is this unique microcosm of the world, where we follow these people, we follow their lives, who they're dating, who they're marrying, their families, everything about them. We open ourselves up as YouTubers to the world around us, and then people fall in love with that part of it too. If they like us, if they hate us, they hate all of that, right? And they become, you know, focused on all of these things that are going on in our lives. But it doesn't mean that like it's hatred, obsession, or, you know, consumption. It just means, or total consumption. It just means that we like to follow along and have an opinion based on social media. YouTube's just a part of social media, right? So no, it doesn't mean that if you want to continue to have the conversation that you're obsessed with Shane Dawson. Not at all. Quite frankly, I'll tell you where I'm at with the Shane Dawson thing is I'm intrigued by what his next move is going to be. I thought that he was going to come out at the beginning of January. I'm just as equally intrigued with Shane Dawson as I am with Tati Westbrook, as I am with Jeffree Star and these people, because I want to see what they're going to do next. For me, it's almost sociological that I like to watch and see what they're going to do and how they're going to interact, right? Because to me, it's all like, this is how it's going to unfold. So what's Shane's next move? And then what's Tati's next move? And then when Shane comes back, what's Jeffree Star going to do? Are they going to start interacting again together? And how's James Charles going to respond to all of that? It's this interaction to me that's very, very interesting that I like to have a conversation about and allow you guys to have the comments in the comment sections below. But once I turn off that camera and once you guys stop the camera or stop the video, I have a feeling the majority of us are not that consumed with Shane Dawson that we just go on to think about it all day long. Quite frankly, I think it's the people that have the mindset, because it's very much mirroring, right? That when we see in other people behaviors that we see in ourselves, so the person that's sitting there writing and saying, you hate this man, it's obsession. No, for you, it's obsession. It's, for us, it's just a pastime. You know, there's so many people that I know that watch YouTube that are not obsessed with it. I think because I have a commentary channel where I get on YouTube and I talk about these things, people think I eat this stuff up 24 hours a day. That's truly not it, you know? I mean, I was just driving around in my car, snaking it out to Dua Lipa. You know what I mean? Trying to think of a TikTok to do. It's just not that deep. But I think for a lot of people that truly are, you know, still supporting these people, and that's your business, do what you want to do, it is that deep. But what's interesting to me is that you're starting to see fans of Shane Dawson really conflicted, and I think that his waiting a long time was probably a smart move for Shane, from Shane's point of view, because I do think that he's going to win a lot of people back. So, someone said, the same person said, I think it's not particularly hurting anything if people speak their minds here. It is very frustrating to see people who have done things you feel are damaging get away and those actions unscathed. So, okay, that part I think is fair. And then someone said this exactly, large emotions need space to be processed. With the level of hurt Shane caused, people should be allowed to speak about that. If those posts annoy you, that's also valid. But your choice to engage with them is just that, your choice. Someone said, it's a sub where Shane is the topic, not a fan sub. So you're going to see lots of different opinions. Someone said, I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with him. I'm angry at the lack of accountability, justice. Like, yeah, I mean, and we're allowed to have that emotional response. Like always, he gets away with the SHI tut he does. He plays the ooh, soft boy card and all is forgiven. I'm frustrated that he isn't holding himself accountable, and I'm angry. Holding himself accountable the way that he held other people accountable. And angry at all of the people enabling him. I don't want to be someone who... do people forget that Shane Dawson was the one that was called in to fix TanaCon? I mean, do we forget that? Like, we held Tana so accountable for TanaCon, okay? And how she let all of her fans down and she took no accountability, that Shane Dawson had to come in, put it on video, okay? Monetize it and make money off of it, holding Tana accountable. But he gets to not do the same thing, and we're okay with that, right? Maybe Tana should hold Shane Dawson accountable. Someone said, I don't want to be someone who forgets the crap he pulled, and I want to keep the discussion, the SHI chut he pulled, and I want to keep the discussion going because I'm sick and tired of people getting away with the SHI chut they've done wrong. Someone said he also acts like a victim constantly. He's going to try and make a return to YouTube, and I hope people are absolutely ruthless with their comments and criticism. Well, I don't hope people are ruthless with them, but I do hope that people are like, hey, Shane, this ain't it, okay? Like, you need to be accountable for your actions. Like, what's going on here, you know? That's my hope. Someone said, okay, I only lurk on this sub, but I'll give an honest answer. I was a huge fan, and it sounds silly, but he was my comfort YouTuber. I had his books and wanted his merch. When SHI Chut hit the fan, SHI Chut I was aware of, oh my God, I realized that just apologizing isn't enough when your past is that dark. You have to actively work at repairing your relationship to your fan base. I think that's a valid point. And the specific communities, people you hurt, he more or less apologized and just tried to forget about it and move on. He also didn't take accountability in his recent apology video. I'm still here because I want to make sure that people won't just forgive and forget this time. I want to see him take full responsibility. But I'm also here because I feel guilty for ever supporting him to begin with, and because there's a part of me that misses him. I want to keep myself accountable too, so I won't just leave this community. Leave the community, because it's crucial that this conversation stays alive. There's no point if we silently hold him accountable and don't say anything about it. Someone said he didn't even apologize for everything, which is a main reason he's not forgiven for his actions. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You know, about all of that. I think that, you know, it's an interesting comment that this person said. Hold on a second. he didn't work at repairing his relationship with his fan base and his audience. The fan base and the audience has supported him for years, you know, and put money in his pocket. And, you know, I think people forget about this. They're like, no, Shane is the one that put money in his pocket. Shane is this. Yes, it is a job for Shane. It's a job for all YouTubers. Shane is the one that filmed the videos. He's the one that had Andrew edit the videos. He edited them years before that. He was the one that came up with the concepts and had everything. Yes, he did all that, right? But there are millions upon millions of YouTubers out there that do the same thing every single day and have a fan base of 50 or 100 people, okay? And they're not getting the luxury life and the ranches and the travel that Shane Dawson is doing. The fans gave that to him, okay? You gave that to him. YouTube, you gave that to him. The people out there that have supported Shane Dawson for a long time and those that still do. I do feel like he owes it to his fan base. I do feel like he does. And I like that comment, that idea of repairing his relationship with the fan base, because you do have a relationship with the people that watch your videos. If you care about them, if you don't, well, that's another story. So let me know about what you think about all that in the comment section below. And also let me know what it would take for you if you have stopped following. Well, I mean, he's not posting anything to follow. But like if at some point you said, I'm not following Shane anymore, what would he have to do for you? Because people always ask me this. Like, what would he have to do for you to start, you know, watching him again and stuff? I don't know that I ever will. But what would he have to do for you to start watching him and supporting him again? Let me know in the comment section below, because I really feel at this point the fans are split over Shane Dawson. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.